Sheikh Hasina.
Sheikh Hasina is
Since the resignation and exit of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina,
Prime Minister flee from the country.
Witness such mob action on the street.
Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is living in exile after the student-led protests in Bangladesh last year brought her to New Delhi. Today there is unease in ties between the two close neighbors who have held each other steady since 1971. This winter, 78-year-old Hasina, the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, revered as the father of the nation in Bangladesh, finds herself in a tough spot. She is tasked with breathing new life into her party Awami League, while rebuilding trust with the people to lift her country out of its current uncertainty and return it to an elected leadership in the coming year. Breaking her silence for the first time, Hasina speaks with The Week. In an exclusive article to The Week, she recounts how her father led the country to hard-fought independence from Pakistan in 1971 after years of oppression and a violent crackdown by West Pakistan's military forces. His administration had to build a sovereign country from scratch, she says. My father's assassination in 1975 ushered in a dark period of military dictatorship and a reversal of our country's economic and social progress. Assassination and dictatorship have both been recurring phantoms in the region's politics, and Hasina fears they may loom over Bangladesh once again. In Dhaka, the jurists are accusing her of crimes against humanity and calling for a death penalty. Not only is she charged with causing the massacre of hundreds of civilians during 3 harrowing weeks through July and August during the student-led protests last year, but the Awami League regime is also being accused of repressing the people with enforced disappearances, custodial killings, and arbitrary detentions, which have been documented by human rights organizations. A trial of Hasina before the International Crimes Tribunal in Bangladesh is being watched closely. But Hasina says the charges are part of a rigged and illegitimate show trial that has been conducted in her absence and presided over by an unelected government under interim chief Professor Muhammad Yunus. I have faced down unelected politicians before, says Hasina, who returned as the leader of the Awami League after the first forced exile in the early 1980s after the assassination of her father and several family members. For New Delhi, it is a tightrope walk, as the challenge is not only keeping Hasina on its soil, but also giving a vote of confidence to people of Bangladesh that when their country holds elections in February next year, the Delhi-Dhaka bonhomie stands a chance of revival and resetting of the bilateral ties. The silver lining is the maturity, at least among mainstream parties like the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, Jamaat-e-Islami and even the Awami League, that only an elected government can restore stability. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval's recent remarks emphasizing on good governance as a lesson for the neighborhood has signaled the first change towards a more realistic assessment of the challenges facing Bangladesh. Given the fact that Hasina will be staying in India along with much of the former leadership of the Awami League at this critical juncture, the appetite for major strides in new forms of engagement between the two countries will need to be built. The starting point can be bridging the divide between the people and addressing issues like water sharing. The Ganges Water Sharing Treaty expires in 2026. Addressing Bangladesh's grievances regarding unfair deals, especially in the power sector and trade, among others. For Dhaka, its flirtation with Islamabad, allowing Pakistan's ISI established links with young activists and far-right extremist groups, and any other anti-India activities will need to be stopped for conversations to begin. Together, both Delhi and Dhaka also need to overcome challenges of disinformation and distorted portrayals as Bangladesh navigates the transition to an elected government. India's nuanced approach in coming months will be eagerly watched. Will Delhi and Dhaka succeed in liberating their friendship from political anxieties now remains to be seen.